Nothing makes me happier than efficient and organized storage. It's a beautiful thing. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Monday Morning Coffee with me, Stephen. And welcome to my weekly episode. It's episode number 455 for May the 4th, 2026. And yes, it needs to be said, May the 4th be with you. Okay, I'm not even a big fan of Star Wars, but whatever. I'm more of a Star Trek person. But anyways, moving along. Now you may notice there's a little bit of a glow. Guess it's on the side. A little bit of a glow here on my face. Yes, usually I have natural radiance, as you all know, but today I'm getting a little help from the sunlight because it is very sunny at 7:31 in the morning, and it is streaming through my window that's over here, which does not have a curtain on it. It just has a stained glass panel in front of it. And yeah, but it'll disappear in another 5 minutes or so. This will all have changed because, you know, the sun, earth rotates, something like that. And well, never mind. Anyways, let's just say it's just a very healthy, heavenly glow on me. Yeah, brighten up your day. Okay, enough rambling. Let's look at what I've been working on. Here it is. Yes, it does look like a bit of a mess at the moment. And you may say, a bit? Yeah. This is a quilt. I already showed it on Stephen and Walter Live. I have all the pieces done. Now I have to assemble it, and I have to put in my inset triangles. That's why it looks a little weird right now, because I designed this all on point. The fabric I'm using are scraps left over from about 5 different shirts that Walter has made for me over the past year or so. And you know, he gave me these bags of scraps because they're pretty. And I thought, well, what the heck? Let's make a sort of an improv quilt. Although it's not really improv because I've kind of planned it out on the design board. But anyways, I'm going to talk more about this in detail tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. Just as this is just a sneak peek. And I may have it done, the top part of it done for tomorrow's Idiot Quilter. That's my goal for today. Other things to do today as well. Now, this is coming along. This is going to be a tote bag. It's called Gilded Books and Blooms, and it is an In the Hoop applique project. I have these are the panels for the front of the bag. I also have a duplicate set of these for the back of the bag. I still have the bottom of the bag to embroider, and I don't know if I'll get to that today or later this week. We will see. But again, I'll talk more about this one in more detail on the Idiot Quilter. Okay, and I think that's all I've got, up here to show you at the moment. So let's move to comments, or in this case, one comment for this past week that I found very interesting. Cabin 2049 writes, a couple of weeks ago on 60 Minutes, they featured a segment on doctors, dentists, etc., who set up free clinics for people in the U.S. who are not covered by insurance. They used 3D printers to print out dentures on site so the patients would leave that day with new teeth. Pretty amazing. Yeah, so we were talking about how 3D printing, last week we were talking about this, how 3D printing has pretty much expanded beyond just making little plastic toys and trinkets. And this is a fine example of this. But also what's nice about this is the cost of, dental service in both the United States and in Canada, because in Canada we are not covered by government insurance for this. There is a plan for that, but it works only for children and for people on very low incomes, and dentists do not have to, they're not obliged to be part of that program, whereby they've cut their price. The dentistry, in my opinion about dentistry, is it is extremely expensive, and it doesn't need to be that way. Dentistry is an industry. It is a business. And yeah, I know their equipment costs a lot of money. They've got to pay for professionals to work there. And it's the same old blah, blah we hear all the time when something's expensive, right? And I truly do not believe I have no proof for this, but I'm pretty sure that dentists are doing very, very well. At least my dentist is. Drive nice cars, have nice houses, go on nice vacations. Yeah, okay. And that money came from my mouth, a lot of it. But nevertheless, we're kind of screwed because we need a dentist, right? Or, well, the consequences of not going to the dentist, we all know what that's like, or what that could be like. So, yeah, so I think it's great that there are, I don't know if they're doing this in Canada. I have no idea. You can, if you don't have any kind of insurance, because you can get insurance, but it's expensive. We have it. Um, you can negotiate with your dentist, with some dentists, for a lower price. Shouldn't have to do that though, really, if you think about it. But it's nice to see that at least in one part of the United States somewhere, they have free clinics. And as I said, I'm not sure if we have that here in Canada. Um, and they're using 3D technology. Now, 3D technology would probably keep the price down. I just question the quality of the dentures you'd get from a 3D printer. Obviously, they're not using what I use. Maybe I could make myself new teeth. Um, you know, they're not using plastic. It must be something that one is food safe because you're going to have it in your mouth, and it must be something really tough. So, but they can 3D print in concrete, they can 3D print in metal, all kinds of other materials. Now, equipment for those kind of things is very, very expensive. So these are free clinics. So I'm wondering where the money is coming from to afford this kind of technology, because I don't imagine it's cheap. But nevertheless, here's an example of, using modern technology for the benefit of those who can't afford, um, you know, dental care and that kind of thing. And I think we'll see more and more of this kind of technology in the medical field in general as well. It's already there. They are making body parts using 3D printers. Um, I'm not sure how that technology works, but I'm sure, excuse me, I'm just adjusting something over here. I'm sure, though, you can find probably videos about this on YouTube. Maybe I should look some of them up because that's kind of interesting, I think. Okay, so thank you for that comment. Keep your comments coming in. I love reading them, I love responding to them, and I love highlighting some of them that I think other people should really focus on too here on the program. So, what's been happening at home and elsewhere? Well, in the Canadian headlines, we've had some interesting things. Air passenger rights. this is bogus. It really is. For years, they've been doing different things where, like a government or organized groups or something, to basically make the airlines play fair. Well, guess what? The airlines don't play fair, and it hasn't changed a heck of a lot. So now our federal government has come out with this. Well, it says in the headline, Ottawa is quadrupling maximum fines for airlines violating passenger rights from $250,000 to $1 million. Yeah, try and collect. And that's a fine. It doesn't mean you, the passenger who's had your rights violated, whatever those rights might be, because they change all the time, you're not going to get that money. That's a fine that's going to happen to the airline. Yeah, $1 million sounds like a lot of money to an airline. I don't think it is. No. I mean, how much money do they bring in on a daily basis? So, it's a step in the right direction, but it's not much of a step. It's not even a baby step. It's just to appease those of us who have had to fight with airlines because they've delayed a flight with no good reason, or they've bumped us off a flight, or all the, you can name it. The list is as long as your arm as to the complaints we have with the airlines. For something that is so really essential for modern travel, and it's supposed to be using the latest in technology, that kind of thing. Why are they so inefficient. And coming up for my trip to Japan, the one part I hate about going on a trip is the airport. I just hate the airports. The ones here, anyways. Now, I do know in some parts of the world the airports are an experience to be enjoyed, but not in Canada, not at Toronto Pearson. Oh, it's a mess. Yeah. I mean, there have been some improvements over the last few years, but it's a stressful situation. You're already stressed out. You're going on vacation to alleviate your stress, and you get to the airport and you get all stressed out. Yeah. So that's the part I do not look forward to. So hopefully everything will go well. But this stuff about air passenger rights and finding the companies when they do bad by you, yeah, that'll have no effect. And even if they do get fined, the airline will take it to court and tie it up there for years and years and years and years. So yeah. But here's, speaking of knobs, let me just find it for you. I mean, there's always knobs in the government, right? Well, here's our latest knob. His name is Jamal Javani. He is the MP, Member of Parliament, federal level, who represents my riding. Okay, now he's a conservative, so you know damn well right I didn't vote for him because I don't support the Conservative Party. And for those of you that are American and may not know what we call the Conservative Party is basically the equivalent to your Republican Party. Enough said about that. But this a-hole, he has taken it upon himself to go down to Washington and with a few other conservatives and talk to his good buddy, J.D. Vance. Yes, they are good buddies. They went to school together. He's already gone down for a visit a couple of months ago, back in February, and he came back with a message for us Canadians that Donald Trump loves Canadians. No, I don't think so. This guy is full of crap. Okay? He, first of all, he does not represent our country. He is not in a position to represent our country. He is a member of the opposition, the government or the political body that is not in power. He's also a backbencher. What's a backbencher? It means someone who does not have literally a seat in the front row in the House of Commons. Basically, he does not have an assigned position within his own party. Like they usually have a shadow cabinet in the opposition party. So they have a counterpart minister who is the counterpart to the real minister of, say, transportation or of whatever in the ruling government, in the party, which would be the Liberals. But he has taken it upon himself, not by the direction of our prime minister, to go and do negotiations. He thinks he can smooth things over with Donald Trump. Nobody can smooth things over with Donald Trump. He's another reason why this guy's an idiot, to think he can even reason with a man who has no reason. He's doing this for his own political agenda. And I can tell you, I have written to his office telling him how disturbed I am that the MP that represents my riding, even though I did not vote for him, is doing something like this. What kind of a-hole are you? But anyways, that's in the news, and yeah, it's just a bloody joke. But it could also do some harm. You know, Americans don't understand our political system. And when I say Americans, I mean the administration that's currently in power in the United States. Trump stumps. And yeah, they think this guy, he'll come down and he may chat nicey nice with him because he's what we call a maple mega. Those are Canadians in politics who tend to lean towards the policies of the American administration right now. They're a-holes. So, you know, this is what he is. And Well, luckily he doesn't have a lot of power. The only problem is he could screw up upcoming negotiations on Kuzma, because Donald Trump and his ones that advise him are stupid enough to believe whatever comes out of this jerk's mouth and think they've got a foothold in our country. They don't. Our prime minister is Mark Carney, not this guy. He has no power whatsoever. So yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit there in what's happening here at home. Yeah. There's been other things going on in the news, but we'll leave those. We talked about some of those things on at our live on Sunday. I'm getting my days mixed up. Not good. Okay. My mind's on the trip. That's what it is. All the things that I need to do before that. But anyways, that's what we're at right now here. We're packing. We're packing for Japan. Now, when I go on a trip, I make lists. We pack very lightly. We talked about this yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live. And by the way, as an aside to Stephen and Walter Live, okay, there's clickbait. We were going to talk about social media and its effects on kids. We never got there. We'll save that for another day. So sorry if that's why you were tuning in because of the headline that I used. I didn't purposely make it clickbait. We just never got to it. And that's not unusual for us. In fact, I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't even put in a headline anymore. It's just Stephen and Walter Live and leave it at that. And, whatever it is will be what we'll talk about because, yeah, we never get to the main topic. Anyways, back on track, packing for Japan. So I make lists because I'm a list maker. And if you've been here for a while, you know that I am that. I'm a list maker. And this serves several purposes. One, it helps me not to forget anything that I shouldn't forget, like medications, your glasses, toothbrush, that kind of stuff. And I start to lay the stuff out on the guest bedroom bed. That's where I pack everything. Walter packs in another room, so to speak. So I get it all laid out on the bed and I add to it each day or whenever when I think, yeah, don't forget that. Check my list. Yep, that's on that. But the other thing is we travel very light. We take backpacks, and these are small backpacks. In fact, they're small enough that they could be used as a carry-on, and they will fit the regulations for that. But we don't. We check those, and we have crossbody bags, small ones. Those are our carry-ons, and I keep in my crossbody bag, my electronics, my medications, and it all fits very nicely under the seat. I prefer to put my things under the seat rather than jam them in the overhead compartment because, a lot of problems with those these days. A lot of people have, huge carry-ons, and they allow you to take two pieces of carry-on as well. So, people take advantage of that, and as soon as they get on, they're jamming it into the overheads, whether it's at their seat or not, which is a problem. One overhead compartment should be for the seats that are right there, but doesn't seem to work that way. Plus, I can't reach them. I'm too short. So, yeah, under the seat it goes, and it gives me still lots of leg room. It's times like that on these airplanes that I'm really glad I'm a short person. Because, I'm a claustrophobic as well. So, if I can't move my feet comfortably or that around, then, yeah, I start to panic. And then there's nothing worse than a guy sitting behind you in an airplane, desperately whimpering and screaming and trying to open the window when you're 35,000 feet up. Yeah, it doesn't work that well that way. So, and that would be me doing that. So, yeah. So we pack very light. And the list helps me to pack light. It's like what you should do when you go grocery shopping. Have a list and stick to it. Yeah, well, same thing. Now, if by chance I need something when I'm on a trip or I forgot something, they have stores where we're going. They're civilized. Yeah, I can purchase it. Not a big deal. So, yeah, pack very light. But get it all laid out. And then I also have a list of vital documents that are on there, like don't forget your passport, kind of a thing, and other things that we may need. We have a lot of that stuff, not our passport. Well, actually, I have a copy of my passport on my phone as well, but you carry your real passport with you too. My phone is an essential when we travel. It has my notes on there. It has my list of things. It all my videos will be made on the iPhone that I'll be putting up for you to see while we're on the trip. My phone is vitally important to me, especially when we go on a trip, because it's a mini computer in your pocket. I do not take my laptop with me or anything like that. I do take my iPad. Don't really use it that much, but I take it with me anyways. And yeah. So the other reason why we pack very lightly is because we're old men and things get heavy and they hurt. No, well, that is kind of partially true. But also, we have been in the last few trips doing a lot of public transportation, train systems, stuff like that. You don't want to be traveling around a country with a big suitcase. It just makes things awkward. The backpacks, we got these for the first time last year when we went to the Netherlands. Worked out beautifully, and we took a lot of trains when we were in the Netherlands, and that was great. And when we went to Birmingham and London last summer as well, the same thing. Yeah, these are a wonderful invention, and we have decent backpacks. They're like, they weren't particularly cheap, but you can spend $1,000 on a backpack if you want. Ours are meant for exactly what we are doing with them, and they cost us about a couple of $100 for them. And the crossbody bag was another maybe 100 or something like that. Well worth the money. Lots of pockets in them. They have security things on the zipper, so somebody, if you're wearing on your back, you're in a crowd, somebody tries to reach into your backpack and steal whatever in there, are going to have to fight for it, and you're going to feel it. And we load both of the crossbody and the backpack with air tags as well, so we can keep track of things again on my phone. And yeah, it's worked out very, very well. Also, it forces us to pack lighter because you can't get as much in, although it's surprising how much you can get in. But we do. We do not take a whole lot of clothes with us. Jeans are wonderful when you're traveling because jeans do not need to be washed every other day. I will live out of one pair of jeans for a week. Yeah. And also, Walter's already figured out where we can do laundry if we need to in the places we're staying in. So, in a pinch, if we need to freshen up something or whatever, we'll be able to do that. It's a far cry from the way we used to travel or pack when we traveled in our early days, like 35 years ago, 40 years ago. Then we had the big suitcases. Yeah. So we're not worried about that. Now, some people say to me, well, what are you going to do if you buy something? Well, we don't. And I'm serious. We don't buy souvenirs. We aren't going on this trip to buy anything. If there was something we saw that was definitely a must-have, meaning, 1, we've always wanted it. 2, the price is really good. 3, we cannot get it from any sources when we're at home, then we might consider it. I doubt that's going to happen. We don't buy little souvenirs and things like that of the trip anymore because you know what you do with them? You get them home, you put them on a shelf, and then you got to dust the bloody thing. So we don't bother. The only little souvenir-like item that I will buy is my buffet upstairs has a miniature village on it. It's had it there for years, and we've added to it. Every time we go on a trip, we try to find something small, but that it represents something significant about our trip, a place we've been in. Something like that. Like when we were in Rome, I have a tiny little Colosseum. When we were in Egypt, I have a little tiny pyramid, that kind of thing. And they go there on that display, which is up all year round. And yeah, it's sort of, you look at it, brings up memories of various trips that we've been on. That's all I get when it comes to anything that's souvenirish. Um, Now, some people say, yes, but what about fabric? Japanese fabric. Okay, we are going to be looking at Japanese fabric. There are some fabric stores we want to go to there that are huge. If I see something that is really unique, that I really like, that I know I cannot readily get when I get back home, then I may buy a meter of it or something like that. I won't buy a bolt of it or anything like that. There'll be enough room in my backpack that I'll be able to put that in there without too much of a problem. I've already thought of that. But I'm not going there to buy reams and reams of fabric. There are places online where you can get Japanese fabric. I've scouted them out. So yeah. So we're not buying a whole lot of stuff. We're not shoppers. We will look. Oh yes, I have to go to the electronic stores there because they are miles big and they have things over there we've never heard of. But I won't be buying any of those things. But it'll be fascinating to see them. So yeah, so we can get away traveling light. The lighter, the better. So yeah, that's what's going on here at home right now. Walter has our itinerary all worked out. In fact, he sent me a copy of it. He's my travel agent this morning. I sent a copy of it off to my sister so she knows like where we're going each day and where we'll be and contact information. And I have that itinerary on my phone as well. And yeah, we're pretty much set to go. Fingers crossed that everything goes well at the airport and the flight for all of this. So I'm getting excited about it now. I'm also getting anxious. And, once I step onto Japan soil, I'll be fine. Yeah. Okay, so I don't have any new products to show you or to talk about. So let's go to highlights from the videos from the past week. Last week's Monday Morning Coffee with Stephen was live. As I've said before, I do a live version of this the last Monday of every month. Well, we have a little problem because the last Monday of May, we won't be here. We'll still be in Japan, just at the tail end of our trip, kind of a thing. So I will do this as a live. Breaking the routine will be the first Monday in June, which actually is June the 1st. And then we go back to the regular schedule for that. I like doing this live. It's a totally different atmosphere when I have, people in the chat and I can answer questions. I can talk about things that they're talking about and that kind of thing. I like the interaction on those. But I'm not going to do a live Monday Morning Coffee with Stephen live every Monday because that's just too much. So as I said, this next one will be June the 1st, which will be the first Monday of June, but there will be one on the last Monday of June as well. So you'll get a double dose of lives in the month of June. On the Idiot Quilter in the past week, I've started a new series, which will be temporarily interrupted after this Tuesday for about 3 weeks, because we'll be in Japan. Did I tell you we're going to Japan? Yeah, I've said that a lot, haven't I? It's the Healing Waters pattern that I designed that works around the indigenous pattern. And this week, I'm showing you how I designed the quilt using EQ8, Electric Quilt 8. Now, I'm not an expert on using Electric Quilt 8, so some of you out there probably are. So please forgive me for that, but EQ8 has a very steep learning curve. It's on a need-to-know basis for me. As I need to know how to do something, I'll explore that. I don't use EQ8 a lot, although lately, since I have been designing patterns more, I have been using it for that. So that's what this week's Idiot Quilter is all about. And, oh no, sorry, that was what last week's Idiot Quilter was about. This week, coming up, I'm going to talk about my fabric selection and how to read my pattern. And then, as I said, there'll be a break, and then we'll carry on with it. Now, some have said, well, is this a tutorial? Yes and no. It's more of a demonstration of my process. Although you could, because of the way that I've designed, like I show you how I make the blocks and everything like that. So in that sense, it is a tutorial. But it'll be a series of videos over the next, probably 6 weeks or so when we get back. So yeah, if you decide you want to make that quilt, you can get it. It's in the show notes. Just click on the link. It'll take you to my Google Drive and you can download the PDF, and it's free. All my patterns are free. There's quite a few patterns there that I have designed over the last couple of years. The one I showed you earlier, is that going to be a pattern? Probably not. I don't know yet. I haven't decided, because this was something I designed. I did not use EQ8. I just basically used my design wall. I cut all these squares of fabric, all the same size, and started making half square triangles and throwing them up. It's not a difficult pattern. What makes it look complex are the fabrics themselves. We'll see. We'll see what we'll do with that. Or I might use this as a basis and do some alteration to make it a little different pattern. Always possibilities. Okay, on So Chatty this week, I did do 2 demos. We are carrying on our discussion about using the Accuquilt system, and many of you have said you enjoy that, which is great. We looked at the corner add-on cube for the 8-inch cube, and I also had an additional kind of, if you wish, a bonus video, because people have been asking for this, how not to cut off your points. Yeah, I did a little short video on that, how to line things up. So yeah, if you're cutting off your points, maybe this will help you. All right, and I've already talked about the misnomer for Stephen and Walter Live. Sorry about that. We didn't get to the main topic, but I hope you'll enjoy what we talked about anyways. So what's coming up? We will have a Sewing with Stephen this week, Wednesday. This is going to be the last one for 3 weeks. So yeah, you're getting a break, those of you that are regulars to that, from me, and you now hear the great ballyhoo as you all cheer, yay, 3 weeks away from him. Yeah, it's not safe yet to go in the water, as we'll talk about in a minute. But anyways, yeah, so this will be the last one for 3 weeks, and then once we get back from Japan, everything's back on schedule. Pop-up Sew Day, we had one of those just past Saturday. I think everybody that were there were quite a few of you there. Thank you for joining me. I got a lot done that day. I was working on 2 projects at the same time, which I've already shown you, the quilt and the bag. And yeah, lots of people said they had a very productive day, so that's great. When will be the next Pop-Up Sew Day? Well, there won't be another one in May, again, because we'll be away in Japan. Are you getting sick of me saying that? Probably. I'm kind of getting sick of saying it. But yeah, next one, tentatively, I'm scheduling for June the 6th. You will get details about that then. Okay, so that was last week's videos. So let's take a look at what things are looking like as far as weather is concerned. And I just put up the wrong thing here. Bear with me. Okay, this is the one I want. And oops. Okay, here we go. Okay. Nice sunny day. You can see our trees are starting to leaf out. Another couple of days, if we get a couple of days of warm weather, those should be out in full force. And you can notice that our lawn is turning green as well. Walter has been doing some fertilizing and seeding of the lawn as well. He did some dethatching of it as well. So things are coming along quite nicely here. And when we get back from Japan, I am sure it's going to look much more summery. And then we can concentrate on planting our outdoor canister gardens. But in the meantime, right now, the current temperature is 9 degrees C, which is not warm, not cold, with a high today of 18 degrees C, and it's sunny all day. However, the rest of the week, it looks like tomorrow and Wednesday are going to be somewhat rainy, a little cooler. And then Thursday, cloudy, cooler. Friday, 50% chance of rain. Saturday, 60% chance. And Sunday, the big day where we leave, 45% chance of rain with a high of 12 degrees. Now, if we can contrast that to, we've been keeping tabs on the weather in Tokyo. So let me slide that over. Tokyo right now it's nighttime in Tokyo, is 18 degrees C. So we're at 9 and it's daytime. They're at night and they're at 18. So that's nice. That's very comfortable with a high of 28 degrees C. So that's nice. In their forecast, it's sunny and cloudy. Now on Sunday, when we leave, but we arrive there on in the middle of Monday, it's 35% chance of rain, but 21 is the high. And then the Tuesday looks kind of rainy. And this only goes up to next Wednesday at 21. So, comfortable, I think. And not going to worry about the rain. You know, can't do anything about it. If it rains, it rains. Hopefully it won't rain all the time when we're there. But, yeah, can't do much about it. We'll just have to live with it. And you can see here in this picture, it's a little wet out there because it did rain earlier this morning. But it looks like that was passing through. I heard it while I was laying in bed. I think it was around 5 o'clock this morning, 5:30, that I heard it hit, but it didn't last long. So that's why things are a little dampish out there. Okay, so I was mentioning that when we come back, we probably should be, starting to plant our garden. But in the meantime, people have been asking, what do we do about our stuff that's under the lights when we're away? Do we have someone come in and water them or what? No, we don't. These, you can't tell in this picture very well, but underneath those black pots, there is a big tray with a pad in it, and you fill the tray up with water, and by osmosis, the plants suck up the water, and that'll last the time that we are gone. So you can see here, this is a new crop of lettuce. It's coming along very nicely. This one's dead. This is the other tray. Walter said he was going to, there's one little sprout up there. How'd that get in there? Anyways, he's going to clean these up. I think we're going to get rid of the basil tree. Yeah, that was sort of, we just let it go wild. Basil's so easy to grow under the lights and outdoors. We'll plant new stuff outdoors. Maybe he'll put some new stuff in here. I think he wants to get some seeds started in here, so when we come back, we can plant those in the container garden. Probably like peppers, cucumbers, things like that. Hot peppers as well. Some more lettuce. And the jungle. Okay, I'm getting sick of little tomatoes. I can tell you that. These tomatoes are tiny, but they're great in salads. Walter even puts them on our sandwiches, that kind of thing. And they come along forever, so they're fine. They'll do. And you can notice here, these are in great big, what do you call, buckets or whatever. Things that people use to clean off in restaurants, the dishes and things like that. The plants are in individual pots. Walter just fills that up with water and it's fine when we're gone. You can see our orange peppers at the back and our hot red peppers here. Now, we picked one of these because it was getting a little puckery. This has been on the vine for a while, but it hadn't gone bad or anything. We had that in our salad last night. So we want to get more of these. This is an old plant. Sorry, the picture's a little blurry in the back, but you can see it's got quite the stalks on it. I don't know if Walter's going to transplant that outside, see what will happen, or we're just going to, start new with it. And these are our red hot chili peppers, and they're doing very, very well. And I will start to cut them up and use them in salads, and I'll probably pickle a few as well. And this time I might actually pickle them. I slice them up and put them in jars. I might actually pickle them whole, but we'll be growing more of these as well as the time goes on. So yeah, our garden indoors doing very well, and I love it when we get the outdoor container garden on our deck, as it starts to, grow and everything's there, it looks so nice. You don't need flowers on the deck because the plants look so wonderful, very lush on our deck. And yeah, I always look forward to that. And I'll be taking pictures and sharing those with you as well. I've done it in the past too. So, those of you who've been here for a while have seen those pictures, but I always like to show off the container garden. And we may do a couple of more experimental crops. Like we had good luck with the cucumbers. We made them climb our lattice out there, and they worked out fine doing that. And we tried cantaloupe last year, and we didn't put them in soon enough, so we got like 2-bite cantaloupes. But I said to Walter, well, we get them in as soon as we get home or something, or even if he starts, if I don't know if he has any cantaloupe seeds or not, but maybe start them so when we come home he can plant them, because they need a long time before you can really get a decent sized melon. So yeah, I look forward to that. So what's that take me to? Well, you saw in the teaser that I had made some racks for my filaments. So recently, I told you last week that I had a problem with my one printer. It wasn't feeding filament properly, giving me all kinds of problems, and I thought, okay, the extruder's gone or whatnot. I ordered all kinds of parts. Turned out it was something very simple. The filament tubes that, or the PFT tubes are called, that the filament runs through into the printer, were too long. They were creating resistance, and that's why the sensors in the machine were rejecting the filament. Well, I had to do some rearrangement. You can't see it in this picture. And in the process of doing the rearrangement of where things are located, which has solved the problem, as a matter of fact, I have all these boxes of filament. Plus, above that are cupboards. I've shown those before, all filled with filament as well. I just had them sort of piled up in the same spot you see them now on the racks, but without the racks. So I found this 3D print and decided, hey, I need it racks, and it keeps things nice and neat, and it looks much better where they're seating, where they are sitting right now. Yeah. So that was what I did a lot of last week. Now here's something. This is a practical print. I saw these. Actually, someone on YouTube was talking about these, and so I went and I got the file for it. These are clips, and they are meant to do exactly what you see them doing. You know how you put in a garbage bag into a garbage can, and that sometimes your bag just slips down inside of it, that kind of thing. And then as you put more garbage in, it all slides and stuff slimes out of it. Well, maybe that's just me. But so I thought I would print some of these and try them, and they work dandy. They have a couple of different sizes, but you could scale them up or down whatever way you see fit. These were what they called the large ones. They took about an hour to print 4 of them out at one time. And I think they are a very good practical print. So if you have a 3D printer and you have a problem with your bag slipping, you might want a bag clip like this. What else did I make? Okay, this was an experiment. You know that I'm working on the Second Star to the Right Peter Pan kit from Art East, and this is Peter. I basically was able to, through several different programs, take Peter as a 2-dimensional picture and make him into a three-dimensional 3D print. He didn't turn out too bad. This is the keychain size, and this one is more a little bigger. They're not huge. So that's only maybe about 4 inches or so. Like here he is right here, if you look down here. Okay. I don't know. It was an experiment. I was trying a new program that takes a flat 2-dimensional picture and makes it into a 3D print. And it works pretty good. If I had, changed the colors a little bit more to what they should have been, I just used the filament that was in the printer for it. They did take a long time. I mean, this thing's not that big. He took about 9 hours to print out. But here's something that's kind of amazing. This is the back of him. And, in the picture of him, he only has this, his arm, like here, you see his arm is in behind his back, but you don't see it. It's two-dimensional. Well, when it converted to a 3D model, it added the arm. Did some weird things up here too, but it is rough. It is not beautiful, but if I tinker with it, in time, I think I could do something with it, but I don't know if I want to waste my time on it or not. Well, we'll see with that. But it's just, again, the technology is always changing, always getting better, and I just enjoy playing with it. Okay, toy for big boy, as I've said before. Okay, so let's see. Something I found kind of interesting. Another thing that I'm worried about when we go to Japan is the food. I'm worried about it because in my mind, the Japanese eat a lot of fish and seafood. And I don't like fish or seafood, except for lobster. And of course, there's sushi, right? So I thought I'd look up and see what the popular foods are in Japan. Now they have more than sushi. They have a chicken that I'm looking forward to trying, karache or something like that. Chicken, it's called. It's supposed to be very good. They have different pork dishes. Of course, they have ramen. Noodles are everywhere, and I like noodles. Oodles and noodles, no problem with that. But I thought I'd just take a look and see what the popular foods are. So I found this article, Japanese Food Guide, Everything You Should Try in Japan. Well, of course, the first thing they say, it's the obvious choice, is sushi. Now, I think sushi is very pretty, the way they do it up and lay it out. And I know there are different types of sushi, or they have different words for it depending on how it's prepared or presented. It's still raw fish. And yeah. Now, I've been told that if you're going to have sushi, Japan's the place to have it because it's always fresh. They have very strict rules, health rules about how sushi is to be kept, prepared, all that kind of thing, so that you don't get a parasite or something like that because you are eating raw fish. We are going on a food tour within the first day or two of when we're in Japan, and they've told you the different foods you're going to try, and one of them is sushi. There is an alternative. You don't have to have the sushi. I'm going to try it. Then I can say that, yep, I have tried sushi and I don't like it. Maybe I will like it. We'll see. But, worst case scenario, I take a little tiny bite and go, oh God, no, not for me. And that's it. So, yeah. But there's other things besides sushi. There's like edamame. I love edamames. I've had that's the green things here. I'm not sure what some of these other things are. I guess these are things you get along with or can have as side dishes. Bento boxes. Okay, bento boxes. I have had a bento box before, but it was a non-sushi bento box. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that the things they put in there had seaweed wrapped around them. So guess what? And fish powder. So yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to see. But I'm sure they have various types of bento boxes as well. They even mentioned here the bullet train, which we'll be going on. They say wait to buy your lunch once you've been through the gates. Best bento boxes are for sale just before you board the train. So, it's kind of on the go kind of a thing. Something here I cannot pronounce, onigiri and nekuman. So these are, look out for sea chicken. Oh, okay. Hot and so I don't know what these are. Then there's a whole bunch of other things. And noodles, as I said, ramen runs rampant. You do you do me. Soba. These are all different kinds of noodles and things like that. And then, of course, your chicken. And they have tempura. Things with broth. Yeah. So I am sure I will not go hungry while I'm there. The curry. Yeah, we tried the curry. But Walter, we have an international food store close to us. We went in and we got this curry stuff. It comes in little cubes and you mix it with water or whatever and cook it up. It wasn't horrible, but it had a very different texture to it than Indian curry. It was almost slimy. Now, maybe it was because of the certain brand we had. I don't know. I am willing to give it a try again, but just keep in mind they call it curry, but it's not Indian style curry. It's their style of curry, of course, Japanese. So it may be an acquired taste. We will see. And worst case scenario, there's always rice. Uh, yeah. And well, we shall see. I'm pretty sure I won't go hungry in Japan. But you're on a trip. You can't expect to eat what you eat at home because why go on a trip? You're there to experience a different culture, and food is part of that culture. Okay, so pretty much done through everything I wanted to get through today. Final note, I will be posting, I hope, every day, if not every other day, videos of what we've done each day when we were in Japan. While we're there. So be sure to tune in. I'm going to put those in a separate playlist here on the channel, and it'll be Stephen and Walter in Japan is what that playlist will be called. So you'll be able to check them out on a daily basis if you want. Will we be doing a live? Possibly. We are 12 hours ahead of Eastern time here in North America when we're there, so we'll have to time it. So, if we did something like at 9 o'clock at night in Japan time, it would be 9 o'clock Eastern time here, which is a little different from when we do our usual lives, but we'll give it a try and see who's up and about and interested to be on a live like that. So not sure, there won't be any regular schedule for that. It'll be just whenever we have a time to fool around with the technology, and hopefully the technology will work for us there. But I think it will. Looking at the plan we're going to get for data, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. So yeah. Okay, so that's it for me. Tune in tomorrow for Idiot Quilter, and then on Friday for So Chatty, and then the next time you will see us here online will be from Japan. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you all later. Bye for now. Hi, I'm just going to interrupt my program for just 1 second to remind you to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for future notifications. That's all I ask of you. Show me a little love. Thanks.